Hey, welcome back to the second video in this wedding photography crash course series. I'm Josiah Blizzard, in case you don't know me, and I'm a wedding photographer based in the Philadelphia region. Really excited that you're here. If you haven't caught yesterday's video, 10 tips to instantly become a better wedding photographer, go check that out now. The link is in the cards somewhere here. And today we are going to be talking about what gear you need to become a wedding photographer right after this intro. All right, so you want to become a wedding photographer. Maybe you're wondering and scrambling about what gear do I need to get? What do I need to buy? Do I need to buy a lot of lenses? Do I need to buy some flashes? Do I need to buy, what do I need to get? It is a valid question. Steph and I actually shot our first wedding ever for $200 on a pair of Canon Rebel T3Is. Crop sensor cameras, not so great in low light, does not have dual card slots. And yeah, that's what we shot our first wedding on, 200 bucks. Didn't really make anything on that wedding, which was totally okay because it was our first wedding into the scene, and we loved doing it after that. So we slowly built up our gear list. We slowly started buying pieces of equipment. We rented lenses for a long time. But for the sake of this video, let's say that you had $10,000-ish, give or take, and you wanted to know what gear you should buy to become a wedding photographer. I'm talking about basic stuff. You do not need to go crazy to become a wedding photographer. You don't need that much gear. For instance, I think to become a wedding photographer, you need the following: 2 cameras, one as a backup. Those cameras need to be full frame, they need to be good in low light, and they need to have dual card slots. You do not want to risk losing your client's images, is what we talked about actually in the last video. Do not risk your client's images and have one card slot. You want to have 2. You want to be able to write photos to both memory cards in case one fails on you. It has happened to me before. And do not wait to start writing to 2 cards until you lose a card, until you lose photos, until a card fails on you. Just plan ahead, write to 2 cards up front. You will thank me for it later. That's what your camera needs. It needs to have good and low light, dual card slots, and it needs to be full frame. 2, you need a set of lenses. You don't need a lot of lenses. You can completely get by on primes only. I think a really good prime kit would be like a 24 millimeter, a 50 millimeter, and then a 135 millimeter. I think you could shoot an entire wedding on all of those. You have a wide, which is great for tight spaces, getting ready rooms, etc. Then you have a 50 for portraits and medium type shots. I shoot a lot of portraits and bridal party and family on a 50 millimeter. And then you have a 135, which is great telephoto wise for toasts or ceremony, reception, and even the 50 is good for the reception as well. Or maybe you want to do a 35 millimeter, an 85, and a 135. Then you still have a semi-wide at a 35 for portraits, and you have a tight for portraits on the 85. But then you're also talking about a 35 is good for practically anything. You can shoot getting ready, you can shoot portraits, you can shoot reception, ceremony on a 35. The 85 will get you a bit closer for tighter shots, closer shots. And then a 135, obviously the same thing as before, telephoto for ceremony, reception, toasts, etc. If I were to have $10,000 and start over, I have no gear whatsoever, what would I buy? I'm thinking I would still buy my Sony a7 III. This is about $2,000 for this camera. It is an amazing camera for $2,000. It's one of the cheapest full frame cameras on the market today. 2,000 bucks for a full frame camera, great and low light, dual card slots. I don't know why my dog's crying. Amazing autofocus system, priced really well, along with a bunch of other great features. And then I would probably go and buy a 24 or a 35 millimeter. I'd buy a 50 or an 85 millimeter, and then I would buy a 135, or I would probably buy a 70 to 200, just so I have a little bit of wiggle room in between, and I can go a ton further to 200, right? Rather than just being stuck at 135. Those lenses are a bit more expensive, obviously, because they are a zoom lens, but I think it's definitely worth it to purchase that. As far as like my kit goes, that's what I think I would probably buy if I had to start fresh and start completely over. I would also buy a few flashes. You want to have a few flashes in case you're stuck in a in a space that is not well lit, I buy these Yongnuo speed lights. This is the Yongnuo 563. They're about $70 on Amazon. You can get them prime, shipped 2 days to your house. About 70 bucks, buy 3 of them. It's so cheap. And our flashes break all the time because people knock over our stands because we use off-camera flash. You can use a mix of off-camera, you can use on camera, whatever you feel like works best for you. Off-camera flash is something I'll cover in a later video. Buy a few flashes. It'll be worth the investment, I promise. You can buy some modifiers with it. We use MagMod modifiers. I'll link them below as well. But yeah, that's what I would really suggest. You don't need a lot. You do not need a lot of stuff. I will link below what I think is a really good kit for wedding photography. I'll link that below. If you want to check out the kit I'm currently using, I did a what's in my camera bag video not too long ago. That's linked above as well in the card, so you can check that out. If you want to see literally everything in my camera bag, you can check that out. But for the sake of this video, keep it simple. Buy 2 cameras, one as a backup. Buy some batteries, buy some memory cards so that you're not stuck using one memory card, you're not stuck on one battery. Obviously buy extras of those, and then go out, get a wide, get a medium to close up, and then get a telephoto lens. That's all you need to be able to shoot weddings. The prime lenses are going to allow you to be more creative because you're stuck with this fixed focal length. You don't become lazy zooming in and zooming out on a zoom lens. They're also sharp and they're great in low light because they're fast lenses. They're gonna open up to 1.4 or 1.8, and they're typically a little bit cheaper. This 85mm 1.8 was around 600 bucks. You can buy a 24 1.4 for around $850. A 35 1.4 1.8 is around $900. A 50 1.4 from Sigma is around, I believe, $900 $950. They're cheap lenses, but they are amazing and they will last you a really long time. So that's my suggestion. Obviously there's a few little knickknacks things here and there. If you don't want to purchase all up front, totally okay. I would suggest buying a camera and a basic lens first, and start renting. If you rent the extra camera body, if you don't want to buy the camera body, rent some lenses if you don't want to buy the lenses. Go out and do a bunch of shoots for like family or newborns or maternity or whatever. Go shoot a bunch of little sessions for like $200 each. Shoot 20 of them. At the end of those 20 sessions, you'll have around $4,000. Invest all of that back into your business and purchase more gear. Purchase the cameras, purchase the lenses. When you feel like it's right for you to buy those lenses, do it. Steph and I rented for a very long time until we had all of the equipment we needed to shoot a wedding without renting. It took us a while. It took us probably almost 2 years, 2 to 3 years to do that. So be patient. Don't go into debt for your business. Your business should be working for you, okay? Do not go into debt buying gear you don't need. You can get by. I've shot almost an entire wedding on a 50mm one time. I love the 50 that much that I shot almost an entire wedding on the 50. So it's doable. You can absolutely do it. So be patient. Guys, that's it for this episode. I wanted it to stay really, really basic, really, really low key. I don't want to overwhelm you with gear because frankly, photography should be fun and you shouldn't have to worry about gear. It comes down to your eye and your vision and just how good of a photographer you are. So being limited on gear actually makes me more creative. So I would love to know what your thoughts are on this little video here. What gear are you using? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please, I would love your support. Hit that subscribe button and maybe share it with a friend who might want to know about what gear to buy. And if you're feeling so generous, hit that like button. It would mean the world to me. So I will catch you guys tomorrow for the next video.